Warriors. Captain Samoa here, here to talk to you about the Commander's Challenge. As promised, I'm here to pump out some content for you and some of the things that we've been talking about throughout the units. So as a disclaimer, first and foremost, I must say, I'm not an editor, I'm not a cameraman, so your grace and flexibility throughout the content that comes out nice and raw to you would be appreciated. So that being said, the current date of this video is December of 2021. The purpose of this video is to pump out some content if you're not in the units and you're not serving with us, to provide a service to citizenry, and then also for the units, for you to sharpen your skills physically, and then also with dexterity with your weapons and your gear. All right, so a lot of us are pretty busy out there, and hopefully this will sharpen you and add tools to your toolkit in some way. If you know a little bit of something, don't waste your time hearing your video. You're not going to get tactics, techniques, and procedures. For those little golden nuggets, you'll have to come out and train with us. I'm sorry. So that being said, if you're doing open source intelligence, you're doing a little OSINT, you may be able to do some things from these videos, but I'm going to be pretty tactful, and I'm going to have to turn my back on you and say, follow me, infantry. But you're welcome to come join the right side. All right. That being said, the time of year that we're in is December, as I said in this time of the video. What's right around the corner? January. All right. What usually happens in January is, as you know, people start thinking about body maintenance. They start making New Year's resolutions. Right? So they'll go out, they'll pay for a gym membership, and they'll culminate right about 3 months, and then they're just paying the gym for the rest of the year for a membership they're not using. All right? So oftentimes what happens is we think about these things, we mean well, and we make large strides, but that's not usually what gets you for your intended goals, unless you're really motivated. All right? What we're going to talk about here for the Commander's Challenge is what's going to help you make small deposits doing dailies over time. And what that will do is build discipline. All right? And that's what we want from you guys. Even if it's not a whole lot of time, if it's just little bits at a time, something that you're doing with time and repetition, that's what we're looking for, and we're hoping that that will pay off in the long run. All right, that being said, what is the Commander's Challenge? All right, so yours truly is going to give you a challenge once a month. During that once a month, you're going to spend some time and you're going to do dailies. Doesn't matter what time of day, whenever you're available, right? We're going to focus on PT and the sense of calisthenics, and then we're also going to talk about weapon manipulation, and then also dexterity with your gear, and hopefully both. All right? They will change, they will rotate, and the reps will increase. Right? So this is going to be focused in such a way that perhaps you're ground zero, you're just getting started, you can't pass an APFT right now, or maybe you need a recondition for it, such as myself. Right now, I'm trying to get rid of the winter coat so I can work on the spring rolls, and hopefully you'll enjoy the journey with me. So that being said, another disclaimer, this will not get you to pass an APFT in the fall. You're going to have to do the extra things along the side, such as your cardio and working on things like that. All right, this is just to get you a baseline of strength and a baseline of repetitions to get familiar with your gear. All right, so that being said, we're going to talk about the first month. All right, so we're a little late in December, so if you want to start in January, that's fine. All right, repetitions for your PT and your calisthenics are going to be 1 of 3 reps. We're going to want you to start small. So we either want you to do reps of 3, reps of 5, or reps of 7. All right. Now, that doesn't sound like much. I understand that. But again, notionally thinking where some people are starting, we want you to do these things. And even if you're good at doing those things, start small and work on form, which we're going to talk about. Make sure you're doing things efficiently, because it's more beneficial for you to hold that form and do it to the standard than it is for you to bang out a lot of reps. That being said, We're going to hope that you can continue with us throughout the challenges in the month. Now, if that doesn't sound like a lot to you, don't worry. I've also tiered it up, 3 different tiers. So if you think that you're at a certain level of fitness, it's not a problem with you. You can actually add to the value of training and the value of strengthness and challenge. That's going to be taken care of for you as well here. All right, so please stay tuned as I pause for the next part of the video. All right, I got myself adjusted here with the next camera. Sorry for the hard cuts on the scene. Again, can't edit here from my tablet, and if I can, I don't know how yet. All right, so for the PT, it's going to be calisthenics, right? So it's going to be simple, and it'll stay same throughout the month as we go through next year. So it's basically going to be 3 things, nice and simple, right? We're going to start from the top down, and that's going to include push-ups, setups, and air squats. Now again, you can add anything to your regimen as you want to. I usually work on my cardio, I do my half-mile runs or whatever case on lunch on my own time, but just for the base level, I might add some other things as well, like pull-ups if I can do that. And that's kind of hard, you kind of need facility for that, so to speak. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get into it real quick. So, that being said, you guys are all grown, you know how to do push-ups, right? So let's just go ahead and talk about some standards real quick. Again, working on form, since we're doing so less of the reps, we want you to really focus on that form, alright? So what you don't want is too much ass, and you don't want to seal or ground yourself. So what you want to do is bring yourself in the position. Now to start, go ahead and start on the ground. Place your hands against the breadth of your chest. Alright, and bring you up into the exercise position. Alright, so the standard that we're looking for, when we're talking about standards, is breaking the 90. Alright, for me, it's about here. But for value added, and just since you're working on form, let's do CrossFit push-ups, and just go ahead and go all the way to the ground. Alright, so, hopefully, depending on what your regimen is, I'm currently at 5, but I'll just demonstrate with 3 to keep it brief for you. We'll go through it. Alright, so exercise position, prepare exercise, head exercise. 1, 2, 3, and recover. Alright, piece of cheesecake, right? Next up, we're going to move to our setups. Alright, so we'll get into what we're going to talk about for standards first. Essentially, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do butterflies, CrossFit setups. You don't need super cool, sexy spine boards. You can use anything. I'm going to use my sleep gear here for demonstration. But let's talk about standards real quick. If for some reason you don't have these things available to you, just find yourself in the setup position. Right? You're going to place your hands just above your ears. The standard that we're looking for is coming up and pressing your elbows to your knees. Alright? So that's the standard that we're looking for. So back, supine position, elbows to knees. Alright, so just for demonstration, we'll go ahead and do the butterflies, CrossFit style, for your setups. Alright, all the way to the ground. Prepare your exercise, and exercise. 1, 2, 3, and recover. Alright, last but not least, again, with the intent of starting from the top and breaking down, you're going to move to your air squats, right? We're going to put yourself in a position to where you're shoulder length apart with your steps, and you'll do the same thing. Alright, exercise position, prepare your exercise, and exercise. 1, 2, 3, and recover. Alright, real simple stuff. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to try to demonstrate the tiers for you as we get into the next step. Again, just demonstrating tier 1 so you have baseline standards and baseline understanding of what you're working with. Alright, and stand by for next segment. Alright, tier 2, welcome back. Tier 2 for your calisthenics is going to be with your weapon or with your rifle, whatever you're running and gunning with. If you happen to find yourself in a place where you can't PT with a weapon, you can use a bell bar, 10 pounds, or a sledgehammer or something of that matter. Improvise. Use whatever you have, just as long as that weight kind of ranges in that area. We're wanting you to work with either something twice the weight of what you normally work with, or comparable to it. All right, now I know I got a silly shotgun sling on my rifle at the moment. I'm not doing that to be funny. It just happens to work out that way. I don't run a sling on my rifle. To me, slings are for the chow line and sentry detail and things of that nature. And this is the only thing I could find real quick offhand. So please excuse the preparedness on that. All right, so same as before, Tier 2 PT. When you're running your push-ups is going to be with your weapon. All right, starting again back on the ground. Prepare to exercise. Exercise. 1, 2, 3, and recover. All right, coming up, gonna work for your setups. It's gonna be something similar. Think about where you want to place that weight. All right, you can cross it across your chest and still use your elbows for that standard. Or if you're really good, you can do it behind your head with a plate again. Still. All right, same thing. Tier 2 setups. Prepare, exercise, and exercise. 1, 2, 3, and recover. All right, last but not least, we move into the air squats. All right, I'm gonna get rid of this silly thing if you don't mind. I know it's added weight and added value, but don't really need it for demonstration purposes right now. All right. So what I want to talk about with the air squats and your weapon is I want you to be able to focus on something across the room or in the horizon or whatever the case may be. Something you would normally aim at and still use your sights for your training. Alright, right now I'm in my garage, so I can focus on the pull cord for the garage door or something of that nature. Yeah, so I'm going to come up for my air squats into my exercise position, and I'm just going to bring it to bear. I'm going to focus on it. Open sights. Alright. Air squats. Prepare to exercise and exercise. 1, and I can also transition if I need to. 2, and transition back half and half. 3, for whatever your reps are. And recover. So, that's what you're looking at for Tier 2 of your calisthenics, is your PT, same reps with weapon. Stand by. Alright, troopers, welcome back. As you guessed, Tier 3 for the calisthenics is going to be everything. Alright, so again, low reps, but as you tier through, just like CrossFit or anything else, whether you're doing a belt system or the tier system, it's going to be ridiculous for the top parts. Alright, but maybe not so, considering our application and what we do as volunteers. Alright, so what do you need for level 3 on that tier? It's just like it says. So you guys know on your loadouts, your level 1 gear is your search and rescue gear. So your pistol belt, canteen, navigation, hydration, communication, things of that nature. Right? You're going to have level 2 gear minimum. Right? If you have it and if you want to, also level 3, make sure you get your plates as well. And then also, if you have it and if you want to, combination of, you're going to go mop 1 with your gear as well. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pause this again and demonstrate for you. You'll find that if you're not able to do these things in your gear as light infantry, you probably need to do a reconsolidation of the real estate on your gear. We're not mechanized, we're not CQB, mount infantry, things of that nature. Those things are kitted up front for a reason. All right, we do things throughout the woods and things of that matter. So you'll find if you're running plates, you won't need that spine board because those plates are going to put you in that position anyway. So anyway, stand by and we'll commence. Alright troopers, welcome back. As you can see, you may test out your gear, you may find out what works, what doesn't. If you observed during the setup portion, my helmet came off because I'm not able to do my chin strap along with my Mop 1. I could adjust it out if I needed to make it fit, but basically I don't want that thing strapped on me at the moment. It's strapped in such a way that it's adjusted for my helmet to rest on my carry handle for my sights if I had to go prone in a react to contact attack situation and I have my ruck on, or partially on for that matter. Alright, so some of the things that we talked about here are going to be really important in making those small deposits and building up discipline. As you can see in the video, we were around that 15-minute range with me talking and doing demonstrations in between, but obviously it's not going to take you that long to bang some of these reps out. Alright, that being said, let's talk about statistics. Alright, so statistically speaking, you need around 300 reps to start to develop your muscle memory. Alright, for you to just do it without thinking about it, without taking the time to look and just work on your gross motor skills or your hand-eye coordination. Alright, now statistically speaking, you need about 1,000 repetitions to gain your professionalism. Alright, that being said, we're not professions of arms, but that doesn't mean that we automatically get to wear the label asshat. Alright, you can be good, you can be competent. What separates us from being professional is we don't get paid to do those things until we get activated to do them. Alright, now, if you're like me and you're not so good at the math, and you're just starting out at your month, whatever your reps are at, if you're sitting on 3 reps at 5 days a week, that puts you at roughly about 75 reps for that month, right? If you're doing the 5 reps at the 5 days a week, you're at 125. If you start at the 7, you're going to be at 175. All right, so we're not even beginning to gain that muscle memory just yet. But what you are doing is you're attaining that dexterity to where you've gathered enough in to where you don't have to try to remember to do it again. You've been here before and you can execute as you need to. So the next section we're going to work on is our weapon manipulation, and I'm going to prepare to demonstrate for that. Alright, next up we're going to do weapon manipulation drills. That being said, some of you might be getting excited right now. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to pump the brakes on you just a minute. Because the first things we're going to do is work with a weapon without ammo and fighting to those things. Alright, 3 basic drills. There's plenty of drills that are out there. What we're going to cover are bayonet drills. Alright, we're going to look at the thrust, we're going to look at cut, and we're going to look at the slash. Alright, very simple things. Hopefully I won't kill the camera here, so be entertained, enjoy. Alright, so get this just about here. Alright, so first thing we're going to come up to 4 is your thrust. Alright, so for demonstration purposes, we're going to come up, same repetitions, we're going to start for 3 for demonstration. Alright, and come in here. Come to attention, support your arms, on guard, and thrust, thrust, thrust. Alright, next up is going to be the cut, or coupe. And finally, we're going to do the slash. Alright, so 3 basic drills, whatever reps that you want. If you're not in an area where you can't sound off nice and loud for your own guard and things of that nature, that's fine. And last but not least, shame on me, safety brief. Make sure as you're manipulating your gear that you always do your safety checks. I run snap caps, make sure it's clear, all that good stuff. So, scaling for the tier on your weapons. for this exercise, obviously you're starting tier 1 with your weapon. It's going to be a little bit different. Next up for your tier 2, what you want to do is just go ahead and don your gear as you do it. Now, you don't have to use your weapon with your bayonet. I know some of you guys run carbines. You should probably carry a tomahawk or something of that nature. But if you have a rifle, you can do it with a rifle. I just demonstrated for you for your viewing purposes and pleasures and amusement so that you could see something with a demonstration. You don't have to use your rifle. You can use a pugil stick, you can use just a dowel rod or something of that nature, as long as you're getting the motions. I apologize for not taking the time to teach and talk about standards during this time, but hopefully with everything that you viewed and you can see you can do on your own. You guys are sponges. I know that you can handle it. Alright, so tier 1, rifle. Tier 2, rifle with gear. Tier 3, now you can add on your level 3 plates for sentry detail or mounted operations and or mop gear. So anyway, hope this helps, and I'll see you next month for the Commander's Challenge.